Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to the commentary zone. As you enter the room, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and tell a friend. On the docket today, we have Sister Wives, Season 19, Episode 25. He heals the brokenhearted, and this was the season finale, and it seems I I like how they did this for Garrison. I like how they respected the family's requests. Um, I just okay. I'm gonna try to be as nice as possible. Although it was wonderful to hear about Garrison as a individual, as a character, as a military person, as a sibling, as a son. Um, I felt like it was a little like the past three episodes have been very they've been on two different tangents for me.
Mhm.
One that was heart wrenching, and the other one was very infuriating. And I'm trying to tamper down the the infuriating part. I really am. I'm trying my best. So I'm gonna try to focus on the good parts of this final episode of the tribute to Garrison. What are your thoughts?
I think my thoughts were that these three episodes really should have just been one episode,
I
two at
don't
the
think
most.
so. I don't think so because here's the reason why. Um, I needed to see the difference in those stories, in those tangents. I really did. Because for the original three wives and the original 13 children, we saw raw emotion. We saw grieving. We saw them talking about their fallen son, sibling. Um, we saw it. And again, I had to make responses on Sarah Fraser's show today because, again, she's sitting up there and she's like, there would be no show without Cody. Bump that. Bump that.
Exactly. But here's my thing: is how we cut out Cody and Robin. This could have been two episodes. So
But what got me so upset about what she said was the show's name is Sister Wives, not Cody. You get what
true.
I mean? This is about
Yes.
the women in this. And he's just a byproduct of it because he happened to supposedly spiritually marry all of them. But what infuriated me about these episodes the most was Cody trying to make this about him.
Right.
I heard very few comments from him about Garrison, but we took a family vacation, a road trip, to relive his youth and basically highlight a ranch that Robin is looking to cash out on in the future.
Yes.
Is it true that Cody's mom has dementia?
See, I haven't heard that.
I heard that today, and I was like, wait, what? Oh my gosh. Okay. Hi, Farmada. Hello, hello, Wanda. Now that I. Well, welcome everybody. I know this was a pop up. It was originally scheduled for tomorrow, but we had a slight schedule change. So basically, in this episode, the final of the tribute, um, we open up with Janelle and Christine and their family, minus McKelty and her family. I didn't see her at all. What happened? Who's she fighting with? Anyway,
I wonder if she asked not to be filmed in this episode. I keep wondering that 'cause I can't believe she wouldn't show up for the funeral. I choose to go that route.
but there were like three. services. There was the private family service, the
True.
military, and then this. Um, Maybe she had a conflict or something like that. But like you, I agree with you. I find it very hard that she would skip being on TV. Not so much the family event, but being on TV. Unless she was so mad at Robin that she decided not to come. I don't know. But it was very strange. I was looking all for her in all the pictures, the snapshots that I took. I couldn't find her. But anyway, Christine, the majority of Christine's brood and Janelle's brood all go fishing. Dave is a welcome addition to this family. He goes with them. Christine don't like fishing, but she's gonna go just to be with the family and create memories and take pictures because there's not enough pictures, especially of Garrison, because he didn't like to take pictures. And Axel caught his first fish. Um, I just thought it was a wonderful day. We got to see Leon. We got
Yep.
to see Leon, and that was so exciting. Because we haven't seen Leon since COVID.
Right.
So it was just really great catching up with all these kids, the grandkids. Janelle has a little breakdown talking with Christine, and she says it just comes in waves. So you've got her grief comes in waves, and she just has to flow with it. And I get that. I get that.
I like
Everything is
what Christine
so
said
relatable.
though. I like what Christine said. She's like, we all lost a son, but Janelle actually lost her
Her
son.
son, yes.
She was his mother, and
Yep.
I appreciate her for saying that.
Mm-hmm. Where was Mary? We only saw Mary at the funeral. Mary didn't come up to be with anybody. Like, she brought the food last time. Like, I was hoping that we would see the three of them together again. I know that was asking a lot, but I was hoping for that. Mm. Anyway, they had their family day, which was really nice. Um, what was the next section? Oh my god. Ooh, do, 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 do. Oh God, the next section. No wonder I forgot it. We're back on the family vacation. Cody is pulling up to a part of the ranch. He's talking about this pilgrimage that he's on, but yet he is riding a horse with Robin, and she's thinking that he's sexy. I thought this was grossly inappropriate.
I'm glad I'm not the only person who felt that way. I'm like, this is a no for me.
But I think the reason why they included it was because was this a section where he says he has so many shared experiences with Garrison, and then he talks about Garrison sending him a picture of when he was up at the ranch and his nose bleeding from the cold or the altitude or something like that. And then Gabe, it flashes to Gabe saying, I remember that picture. I think I gave him that bloody nose because he wouldn't let us get on the ATVs and we were tired and I punched him right in the nose. So this goes to show the angry parts of these episodes. They just tell me again, even when he tried to say something about his son, the one that he was the first to hold, it's inaccurate.
Always.
He's not showing very well at all, unless this is what Chanel wanted, which, if it is, oh my God, brilliant. Um, then Robin says that the ranch is a big legacy of Cody's father. Why did I feel like I swear I heard a cash register ringing in my head when she said that?
Right?
She's really sizing up everything. It's just gross. She says she when she met Cody, she never would have thought that he was from a ranch just by the way how he dressed. Well, when you met him, all you was focused on was him being on TV and paying all your bills.
Exactly. Thank you.
Um, Cody says the trip is difficult. He says it's a weird experience because he's not getting along with somebody now. Um, but he's there to bury his son. Oh, he's not getting along with Janelle right now, but he's there to bury his son. She's kind and gracious. She was very sweet because he needed this. Why is this about you? Cody needed
Exactly.
this. It
Right.
was so infuriating. Um, let's see. I found a picture. I have to find it here. But I question whether he traveled with the urn or not. And he said he didn't know what the container was that Mitch carved for. He didn't know what size that was. Remember when they were digging out the hole?
Right.
Tim is his brother-in-law, and Cody's other brother Scott came, and they went to the cemetery, and they were digging out the hole. And I was kind of scared at first, but apparently because it's an urn, you don't have those restrictions as if it's a full casket with a body in it.
Right.
That the cemetery has to dig, but the urns, I guess they allow other people to do that. Um, I couldn't do that out in that sun. That looked hot, but I thought it was a nice scene. Um, but
But remember though, they said that even in the summers, like it's cold. It's cold and like rainy or something.
that's true. But you're doing like in the full sun, look midday, and you're doing like hard labor to me. Like,
No, I agree. No, I totally.
yeah, I wouldn't want to be doing that. Um, but they dig out this hole. Cody is determined that this hole will be bigger than any other hole ever imagined. It has to be perfectly uniform. And I will admit they did a very good job. They did a very good job. He says that the box is 8 by 8, but he wants it bigger because he doesn't know have him. Or did he say that he's not with me? Hold on. Do you remember what he said? Um,
No, that's bad. That's him.
well, anyway, he's gonna get buried next to Janelle's mom, and one of the brothers asked, "So do you know who's over here?" He goes, "No." But Janelle's bought the plot next to it. So he has no idea. Like, although I was irritated by these scenes with Cody, and especially with Cody and Robin, it gave us some good little tidbits. It really did. He has no idea what's going on with the family. Just absolutely none. Um, okay. And they said they found where the marker where Cheryl is. Does she not have a headstone yet? Come on, Janelle. Start getting that sorted. Um, okay, so they go through and they do all that. And then when they're finished, I like that scene. Cody said, he wanted to watch the sunset, and I I I liked it. I'll cave in. It was Cody with his brothers was tolerable. Chanel says that Cody contacted her about digging the grave and she thought it was perfect. She thought it was poetic to have Cody dig the hole. He has a vision for what he wants for Garrison's grave, and it's going to be neat and tidy. Um, and oh, they were digging clay dirt. That's heavy. Oh, never mind. Anyway, this is his pilgrimage, like in the movies, where you take the body of the loved one home. This is where he lost me, and I got pissed off.
Yeah, I kind of thought of you when he said, "I'm like, Debbie's not gonna like this." That's all I thought about. Like, Debbie's not gonna like this.
Because it just sounded like it was for effect, or
Yes,
I think this would make the cut for production if I talk this bunch of rambling vomit. Oh my God, more people came in. Hello, Ryan. This is also the last episode of the season. Yes, yes, it is. Cody in the hole. Cody is a hole, a big, big hole. Gabe and Garrison used to fight like cats and dogs, like all of her boys fought, and Peyton too. They were
yes.
they were just boys, you know. Big legacy equals inheritance. So true, Ryan. Thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one who felt that way. Okay, so we already talked about Garrison and Gabriel with the nosebleed. Cody also says that at the one of the other funerals, um, that the boys were taking over, and he had to tell them to stop. That he was the first one to hold him, and he says it's my duty, my job. Let me finish. Now hold up, wait a minute, Skipper. See, he couldn't be in my family, and he couldn't be family to me. Because I would
Listen.
have had to tell him, all right, so you was not the first one to hold him. It was our mom. Secondly,
Well,
because
he
she
did
held him in
acknowledge
the
that though.
womb.
He
Well,
did acknowledge
here's
that.
as an afterthought, because some bitch in production, like me, probably said, we think that Janelle held him in her uterus for 10 months. So they put that in. But you want to assume this patriarchal role that you not only abandoned, but destroyed, and you're upset that your sons, the men that they are not taking over, but they're helping their mother when she is unable to. And they are
Right.
being there for their fallen sibling. But you are so full of ego and self righteousness and selfishness that you have to get a kick out of telling your sons to stand down. If we really look at this bullshit, right? Them boys was there. Even Peyton was there with Garrison for a longer space of time than Cody was. Because if you
Right.
go into every house every 4 days, you ain't spending as much time with these children as these children spent with amongst themselves. How rude, how wrong, how inappropriate that he got on my TV bragging about this bullshit. He had to tell the boys to stand down. It's his duty. It was your fucking duty to make amends with your children.
See, that's where he lost. That's where my position came in. Well, my opinion.
Mm,
How can you? And it feels bad to say this, but based on what we've seen, like you didn't really have any contact with this young man for like I will say little to no contact for like the last what 4 years of his life, 5 years of his life. So you haven't been there. They have been there. Because let's be completely honest here. Janelle has shown him so much grace and kindness,
mm-hmm,
and it's telling to me that she didn't mention Cody as one of the people who was checking in on Garrison, making sure he's okay, pouring into him. Because if Cody had, she would have mentioned it. But since she didn't, he wasn't. So for him to try to jump in and be like, no, 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 I need to do this. I need to like complete my task, my journey for my child. Like it doesn't ring true to me. And then Robin's unnecessariness, aka her existence, um, she's sitting up there making everything about Cody and what Cody needs and like what's best for Cody and blah blah blah. I'm like, ugh, no, 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 no. I did not like their segments, not at all.
okay, so I have this picture. I'm just gonna swap out pictures. I need y'all to help me with this. Okay, so this was a picture of Robin and her children getting out of their vehicle, and Logan, the only person to come over and greet them. However, do you see Cody's positioning here? If I remember correctly, he was coming from this direction and going over this way. I don't know if y'all can see my mouse, but he was coming from the right side of the screen and coming this way, whereas the family was coming out of the car this way. Why was he coming this way if he had the urn and got out of this car where he had to drive it into the cemetery so that these heifers couldn't walk? Did anyone else catch that? Did anyone else catch that? Like,
I didn't. I was
why?
like listening more than I was watching.
Yeah, like, I still, Lord have mercy. I am so sorry. I just cannot believe that somebody from Janelle's family gave this irresponsible, selfish, narcissistic individual the final remains of like, especially traveling with her. Um, there's no way Cody was on the call. She watching from the beginning. Hi, so Dan. Welcome, welcome. I just wanted, like, I'm curious about that. If anybody goes back and watch this, where was Cody coming from? Was he come? Did I miss it? Oh God. Anyway, let's go back to this calm picture so that I can calm myself down. Was it this one we was looking at? Yes, it was. Okay. So what else is happening? Um. So then we find out. Hold on. He took it. Okay, so then we get a black screen and it says, at the request of the family, cameras were positioned at a distance during the internment, which I thought was really nice. But they they forgot to say don't put on the paparazzi zoom lens because they did
Hmm.
zoom in, and it was very appreciated. Um, I see Cody has just this one gray suit. Um, let's hope he doesn't gain weight. It actually does fit him very well for now. Let's see. We see the family assembling at the gravesite. Um, Janelle says it'll be a bit different. There's no hearse with a casket. It's just an urn, and she's numb. Well, girl, you would be. Mary says it's just nothing but sad and heartbreaking. Like every time we saw Mary in a confessional in this episode, she was crying. She was crying. And this is something like, oh God. I had to write another note today. Well, actually I wrote two notes to Sarah Fraser because she pissed me off twice. Um it was about who was a biological mother and who wasn't. And you could, although Janelle is the biological mother, Christine and Mary felt it so much as if this child was theirs. There was no sort of emotion, no nothing from Robin. And that's to be expected because she separated herself from the beginning from the rest of these families. Um, but I feel like it was so hurtful for Mary whenever I saw her and she was crying. I feel like all of these children were the children that she couldn't give birth to.
Hmm.
She has her son Leon and she loves Leon. But with every birth that Christine and Janelle had, it was another disappointment for her. But yet, she turned that into love for these individual children.
Right.
You got to give Mary some kudos for that. You really do. Oh, I feel bad for her. And you know, I don't normally feel bad for Mary. Yeah, Mary and Christine co raised them. But I think it's especially poignant for Mary because Mary had the fertility issues.
Yes.
Mary had those fertility issues. So all these kids from Christine and Janelle were like the phantom children she couldn't have, and she took them all in, and she whooped their asses like how all of our moms would have too.
Right.
Okay, so we see Tim, Cody's brother-in-law, show up in his Hawaiian shirt and mismatching Hawaiian shorts. And everyone thinks that it is so appropriate because, according to them, Garrison wanted to open up, what is it, Rob's Hawaiian shirts or
Bob's was like Bob's Floral, I believe it was.
Bob's Floral. And Janelle said it would have been perfect. Mary said it was perfect. Super cute. Super cute. And so he opens up the service by saying, marriage is the reason why we're showing up today. And everybody busted out laughing. And it was the perfect way to break the tension. It really was. Janelle says it was so Garrison's sense of humor. Um, Mortality is learning to embrace both sides. Right now, they cannot challenge 10 years from now. Oh my God, sorry. Okay, so my voice note started picking up what Tim was saying. So it was just like I thought he was very fair. He was talking about a mother's hurt and a father's regret or something like that.
Hmm.
And from what the lady from Notes to Self 411 said, a lot of like the traditional AUB sermons at these events are full of chastisement.
Mm.
And you're not there, like, you come there to grieve, but you get guilted on and chastised and what you did
Wow.
wrong. And yeah. So she said this was not like part of their church, what they did, even the taking off the shoes or stuff like that. She said this was so wonderful and refreshing, and that he knew how to navigate the rough waters of the fractured family expertly while still honoring who they came there to honor. And I thought that was cool. I haven't seen this one yet. Oh, I'm sorry, Wendy. I hope we're not spoiling it for you. But it is a really nice show. Take your tissues. For me, it's toilet paper, but take your tissues. Be ready, because I was a miserable mess during this show. Um, Mary also says something. She's crying and she says he was a beautiful soul, and she hates that he's gone. She also says something else later on, but she was like, "It is a smile that no one else will see," or something like that. I thought that was so wonderful. Mary had some really great parts in this for her confessionals.
She did. And with Mary, this is how can I put this? This is the first time I felt like she really, really wanted more children, if that makes sense. Like
Mm-hmm.
before, like you never got to say like she's like, you know what, she was at peace with like her fertility issues and only having the one child. But
Mm-hmm.
with Gareth's passing, I could really tell like she was like kind of going over her life and she wishing that she had more children.
Mm-hmm.
And you could feel it that, like you said, the other children, as they were, as the women were pregnant and then the kids were born, she's
Mm-hmm.
like, well, they're not mine, but they're ours. Like to me, she spoke of ours. She didn't parse the children. I never really heard her say Christine. Well, no, sometimes she would say Christine's children, Janelle's children, but her tone was always our children, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mostly remember her saying the kids are our
The
kids.
kids.
Yeah, it was always like that. Was always very inclusive. Maybe if she was mad at one of them, she'd say that's Christine kid or something. I don't know, but yeah, she was always very inclusive, and she could have been really bitter with because we. I think we talked about this, in seasons past, with every child that was born in rapid fire, and she. It took her so long to get Leon, and then nothing after that. She could have become very embittered towards those children,
Hmm.
you know. Um, you love spoilers? I wouldn't watch a review if I was trying to avoid. So, oh, are we really a review? We go off on so many tangents, but I love you for being here. Okay, so like I said, Tim told everybody to remove their shoes and socks and get barefoot on the grass. Tim wants everybody to feel the connection to the earth. Um, this was one part that I was sort of feeling Cody. He says, when someone passes, you mourn, you grieve, you do move on, but there's always going to be this space. You will focus on other things, you love other people, and you'll have joy, but there'll always be that empty space that'll never be filled. That was the best thing he said in the episode.
True.
Um, but then he goes and ruins it.
Yep. Good old Cody. He's so consistent.
He goes
So
and ruins
consistent.
it because we go back to the funeral, and Tim has finished his sermon, and Cody says, "I just have one thing to say." And it pans over to Maddie at one point, rolling her eyes and snickering so bad. He says, I had a dream. He says, he was playing sad songs, and he says that Garrison was there on his bed saying, why are you playing those sad songs? And you don't have to do that anymore. Um, and then the rest of it was a fog. I mean, I'm summarizing that,
Hmm.
but the lady Melody from is it Melanie or Melody from Notes to Self, she says everything in their religion, the AUB, is very symbolic, and Cody said that for a reason. Primarily, it was for him to bring the focus back onto him and not on Garrison. Um, but it was said for a reason, and I had to turn off the podcast because I had a meeting. But I have to go back and listen to that because do dreams like mean something in their religion? Oh wait, yeah. Oh, didn't they say that they get their calling or something like that through dreams, and that's how they know they have to go into the spiritual plural marriage or something like
I
that?
think I, for some reason, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. For some reason, I recall
Thank you.
it was Janelle. Janelle had a dream or a vision or something, and it
Robin
called
too.
her to marry Cody.
Did
That's what
Robin say that too?
I don't know. Robin was so focused on her vision board that I think I thought the vision board told her who to go after. Yeah, that's what but I want to say it was Janelle. I could be wrong.
But yeah, so maybe that's what that is. Maybe he was saying that the Lord sent Garrison to him on his bed to tell him not to be mad, that he forgives him for all of the cruel and unjust things that he did to him in life. Wouldn't that be a bitch if that's what he was really playing at though? How
Oof.
disgusting. Oh, Jesus. I can't stand him. Anyway, um okay, so next thing you know, they're going over to the hole. Um, Janelle picks up the urn. Cody is Cody in the hole? I think Cody's in the hole, and he takes it from Janelle and he places it into the ground. Um, bless his heart. Logan comes over He's helping his mom, giving her a tissue when she starts crying when Cody loads it into the ground. So Cody's getting ready to come out of the hole, and Logan offers him help. Says, "Do you need any help?" And he's like, "No, I got it." I just thought it was so dismissive. Did you notice how he was standing up throughout this entire thing? Like his legs were spread apart, his hands on his kimba, like his head was down or whipping from side to side. It was it was so weird how his body language was coming off. It was very negative for me. And then when he got out of the grave, he was very negative. When he was taking off his jacket when he was in the grave, that was aggressive because Logan was trying to help him with it. And then he gives it, he snatches it and gives it over to Robin. Like everything was very harsh and angry. Like if you're going to be like that, stay the fuck away. Anyway. Um, hold on. Janelle says she felt the weight of that urn when she lifted it. She says it feels like there's symbolism in it for her, handing it to Cody. And although they have their big differences in this moment, they are just parents. I thought that was accurate. Like this is why I said Janelle's the fairest out of all of them, because she has so much animosity with this man, so many differences, so many like things that they're fighting over in regular life. But in this moment, she could see him as a parent, but I don't really think he sees her as a parent. That's the problem for me. Because it's all about him. The selfishness is so overbearing with him. Um, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe I'm just angry when I'm watching this show. My God. Let's see what else she says. Cody then gets back up and he's putting earth on the top. And then Tim says to the congregation, if there's anything, um, if there's anyone who has anything to put into the grave, and Peyton with the dog tags. Oh, poor Peyton. Peyton was like, I have his dog tags, and now he has mine. And Peyton puts his own dog tags into the grave with Garrison. Let's see. He says that he's keeping Garrison. He's going to wear Garrison's dog tags with him forever, and he's going to keep a set on the boat as well. So remember that picture that we saw with Garrison on the boat? So I
Yes.
guess that's the boat that they have. We see other siblings of Garrison come over, and Hunter puts, I think it was a hat, in. Who was it that gave that Garrison gave their first military salute as an officer? Was that Peyton or Hunter?
Which one? No, no. Okay, Peyton went first, and then Hunter was the one that said you are my arch nemesis and my best friend. I think that was
Yes,
Hunter.
right. But because somebody, one of the two of them, got their first military salute from Garrison, and they mentioned it. And
I want to say it was
Hunter had,
Hunter.
yeah, he had that really sweet speech about them as children, but then as growing up, he puts the hat in, and then apparently he salutes Garrison. I thought that was so sweet. Um, we see Mary come over, and she looks sad. She looked really cute in her black and white outfit. She looks sad. Christine comes over, and David is there. he's holding her up, and then she bends down and she kneels at that grave and she like doubles over. And the lady from Notes to Self said, um, she said that was poignant because tears are like a woman's tears are one of the most important things in their like religion. And she said when she saw Christine double over the grave, she felt Christine was giving her tears to Garrison. I was like, what the hell? There's a lot of symbolism here. I really have to go back and listen to her podcast. Let's see. Robin put some dirt on the grave, but I don't think any of her kids brought anything. Leon even went over to put something in. Let's see. And then I say, what is this? Oh my God. I said, all Robin can say is that we've laid him to rest. I wish they would have left that out because it got
Right.
me angry all over again. Um, this is where Mary says she can see the picture of his smile, that picture where his face was just pointing up to the sun. And then we see the flashback of his military picture in Cody's garage. Mary is crying. She says that um, it's a smile that's gone from the world and it's just heartbreaking. We see Christine crying. Um, let's see. Tim says something about live your life to the fullest, live your life to the maximum. Um, and you can be effective in someone else's life. I thought that like everything he was saying was really vibing for me. Um, but Garrison is finally at rest, and this part of the journey is finished. I believe Chanel said that. Then we go back to the house, and the family's all together. Um, we see Gabriel come in, and he's the favorite uncle, and he's brought fireworks for Maddie's children. And Maddie isn't even bothered. She's got this multiple child thing down. Pat and Garrison, not Garrison. Oh my God, Lord, forgive me. Gabe is so cute with little Axel. He says, "Look what I have for you. It's fireworks, but you can only use them if there's an adult around, and you have to ask your dad permission first." He goes over and he asks his daddy, and Caleb is like, "Yep, you can," and it's so cute. Don't you love when they're that age? But then they grow up and they become monsters. Um, I just thought
Pretty
it was
much.
really nice. But then we see a most fascinating scene. Maddie is on the couch and she is not saying daddy, she's saying Cody. She don't call her dad no more. He is just Cody. And she says she's angry with the way how things happen and she's still deciding how she's going to how to handle her responses. Um, she's sad for Cody, and she said for Robin's kids. She says that she has nothing against them, and she's talking to Leon. I'm like, wait, what? Leon is on here twice, or rather three times if you count him by the grave. Leon says that he would love to have a conversation with them. And then Maddie apologizes to Robin's kids for anything that she might have done to offend them. The hell? Next, we see Cody, and he says, "All I know is that we have the memory. He doesn't have a lot of memories of the sunset he saw. He has a memory of he saw it with. Um, One soul with another soul fills our heart. When the soul is gone, we're holding the memory to keep our heart strong. We just hope we never forget." And in loving memory of Robert Garrison Brown, 1998 to 2024. I'm done, y'all. These episodes have worn me the fuck out. An emotional snot fest. That's what it's been for me. With a lot more poignant moments than jackassery. That's all I have to say. All those final words fell on Cody's deaf ears. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think it's sad because we all know that there's been no movement in the relationships in the year since this poor child has passed. Why did Robin see fit to take this episode to mention that her husband looks hot? I chose to leave that out. I didn't want to remember that. Or did I mention it? I can't remember. It was just gross. It was inappropriate. It was bad enough that she was like doing real estate estimates on Wynn's land. Um, but then the inappropriateness of that. And what's her name? Woodstock, the writer chick. Um, Nikki Woodstock, she said that it shouldn't be two people on the back of a horse, that it's just too much weight. It's horse abuse. So,
mm,
I latched on to that. Yeah, because, she's into archery and I think she owns a ranch as well with her husband. And she said,
yes,
you never see two people riding on a horse unless it's like desperate, but it's too much weight for the animal.
I believe it.
And she's like, no, you shouldn't be putting 300 pounds up there on a horse like that. No way. Mm-mm. Why is pain and suffering cornerstone to so many religions? She's because they got to make you feel guilty to come back and seek what is it, repentance, and pay into the dish. It's all about guilt. No. Hey, Maxine's life. Don't worry, you're never late. You can watch us on the replay as well. We're just here arguing about everything. Hunter was probably in the military first. Yes. Didn't he go to like West Point or something? Like he went someplace special. Um, oh, it's sad. He didn't want to be seen as weak. He couldn't lean on his eldest son. It's so weird. Yeah, there's a lot of misogyny going on in this religion. I don't like how they discount the women and the girls. And then with the boys, they like them when they're little, but when they get older, they feel like their manly role as patriarch is being challenged by the young bucks.
Exactly, especially
It's
Cody.
it's so archaic. Like if you abandon these families, why should you be worried about being challenged by your sons? It's just ridiculous. Arguing about everything. That's us. Well, anyway, guys, Jamal, any final comments on this?
No, this was a nice way to end the season. I think it's
Yeah,
fitting. To be
yeah.
completely honest, I think it's fitting that it ends. This season ends here.
Yes, I do too. I agree with that. I think it was nice that they gave Garrison more than one episode. We saw the full arc of it. Um, uh, I'm glad this is over because this really drained me. And now I can get really angry and pissy for the what do they call them? Tell-alls?
Yeah.
No, that's 90 Day.
No. Sit down.
Sit down. So we're gonna see this bullshit sit down. I still don't understand why they're still filming separately. I would like to see all of them in a room together, pointing fingers at each other and calling each other bitch and all of that. That I would love, and hold Cody and Robin accountable for what they've done, and not play the telephone game.
Hmm.
Because that's what they force the host to do. No matter who it is, they force the host to say, "Well, Mary said," and Cody said, and like things are lost in translation that way. How about let Cody come and say it to who he's saying it to?
Exactly.
it's not COVID anymore. So now we have no more excuses other than, I believe, and this is my opinion, Cody and Robin are the only ones who are dragging their feet, not wanting to do a face to face reunion because they don't want to be accountable for anything.
Oh,
I
for
think
sure.
I think the other three would be open to it.
Oh yeah, they would love to see them face to face. But see, but here's the thing though. If we're being really honest, the OG three, they're not putting on a front. They're not hiding their lives. They're being who they are, and they don't. None of them are apologizing for anything.
Hmm.
Cody and Robin are still trying to keep up this facade of whatever they're trying,
Hmm.
whatever they are. Like, oh, like, do you love me? Are you okay with being monogamous? Like when you watch them, you always feel like they're hiding something where the other three just don't care. They're gonna move forward how they gonna move forward.
Yeah, yeah. Um, how many Tell Nothing episodes are there? I think it's
Probably
four.
three.
I heard
Well,
four.
they better not be giving us four.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna ask about the house or the lawsuit. Shit. Well, we'll
Oh, we
see.
need Jen. We need Jen on the sit down somehow. Bring Jen in.
I need Jen
Let
to
her sit
open
down
me
with
to
Suki.
some more episodes.
Let Suki and Jen have a conversation. I would love that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ryan. I want Mary to confront Robin. Robin said that she heard that Mary was talking bad about her with her friends. Okay, Mary, come and do it. Come and do it.
Yes.
How about Cody say it to my face? Well, we should have an opportunity soon. I also want to see, because everybody has been coming down on Suki these past seasons and her doing the reunion. I think her hands were tied because of the production company, but with the new production company, I want to see if the tide changes and if she's able to hold Cody feet to the fire, because when he tells her, I'm going to shut you down right now, in all of his misogyny glory, I want her to say, well, I want you to answer a question when I ask you a question. How about that? And we all know Robin don't want to go. We saw that in the previews, her in the car, him asking her about going, and she's like, no, she's not feeling good about this. Why is that? If you aren't guilty of something, her salty bitches have been talking. Oh, that's true, Wendy. Or if they make Cody stay or else he doesn't get paid. I would love that. I would love that because they get a shit ton of money. They're not making like $10,000, like how they were a few years ago when
Right.
Cody had negotiated down their salary in order to keep the show on air. They are making probably what they were making in the heyday, because this is TLC's bread and butter. This show that we yell at, we scream at, we criticize, this makes them a shitload of money in ad revenue because all our eyes are on it. So I don't know. It would be nice. It would be nice. But y'all, this is the end of our show. Thank you for joining us at the last minute. I know we had to make a last minute change due to schedule changes, and we really appreciate you for riding with us in the live chat and in our comment section for the replay crew. Leave us your thoughts on the memorial of Garrison, how you felt, if it was appropriate or not. Let us know what you think. Jamal, any final thoughts? I think I might have asked you that.
No. We are good to go.
All right, guys, we'll see you again, I believe Thursday. Jamal, you're still open Thursday?
Is it Thursday? I thought it was tomorrow and Thursday.
Right.
I think it was tomorrow and Thursday.
Okay. Lordy,
We'll
we'll
figure it out.
discuss our schedule offline, but you guys have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you again soon for more trash shows. Until next time, Jamal.
Of course.
Alrighty. Bye, guys.
Bye.